Do you think for one hot second I ever get interrupted in a meeting? Nope. What up, everybody? I have to share this with you. What was the question? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I gotta stop and get some cheap chicken for the dog because he's got diarrhea. Just because we're virtual doesn't mean it can't be amazing. Whoa! Hey, it's Mel. And guess what? We are bringing back What the Mel, where you ask the questions, I give you the answers. We suspended it when I launched my daytime syndicated talk show. We are back. So here's how it works. If you've got a question, just send your emails to whatthemel@melrobbins.com. You know, if you want to include a selfie video, you could do that.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
If you've got something you want us to look at, put it in the email or ask in the comments, and we could be answering your question in an upcoming episode. So welcome to episode number 1. Our first question to kick off the series is from Tonisha. Tonisha is a first-generation college graduate. I'm sitting here reading the email she sent us. Hi, Mel. My name is Tonisha. I'm a first-generation college graduate and soon-to-be law school graduate, I hope. I need your help because my self-doubt is starting to overwhelm me. I have dreamt about being a lawyer since I was 3 years old. I took out loans and I bet on myself that I could be the first in my family to really push the needle and graduate from law school. But I've recently lost my mom to lung cancer and I cannot even describe the pain and grief and doubt. This would be a time I'd talk to my mom and ask her for advice, but I can't, so I figured I'd ask you. I'm so close to the end of law school, but I'm filled with so much self-doubt and overwhelm, and I'm struggling to figure everything out, and I wonder if I should finish or just drop out. So, Tanisha, I'm so glad you asked me, and I want to start with one particular sentence, and that is this. This would be a time I'd talk to my mom to ask her for advice, but I can't. I actually don't think that's true. I realize that your mom has passed away, but she's still here. And I bet if you were to close your eyes and you were to think about her and you were to ask her what you should do, I guarantee you know what the answer is. And being a mother, I can also tell you that every mother lives and dies to see their child achieve their dreams. That is exactly what you want for your children. And so I guarantee you, if you get really still and you close your eyes and you think about your mom and you ask her that question, you will get the answer. Keep going. Don't give up on your dreams. You made your mother so proud, and you are going to continue to make your mother so proud. And even though she's not physically here, you know darn well she is here with you because you can feel her, you can sense her guidance. And here's the thing about dreams. If you've had a dream of being a lawyer since you were a little girl, I guarantee you were born with that dream, woven into your DNA. You see, dreams are deeply personal. That's why you can be super little and be drawn to something like being a lawyer and have no explanation for why. And this is important for you to understand, because if you give up on your dream's going to haunt you. See, it's just not that easy as dropping out of law school. You've always wanted this. You've always worked for this. You've dreamt about this forever. And it's not going to leave you. That's why we say your dreams are kind of in the back of your mind. So you don't have a choice about this. If you've always wanted this and the death of your mom has overcome you with grief, you have to do 2 things. Number 1, you've got to take care of yourself because you're grieving. And grief can feel like doubt. It can feel like overwhelm. It can feel like anxiety. It can feel like all kinds of things. So you got to take care of the fact that you're grieving, and that's like riding waves of emotion. And the second thing that you've got to do is you got to keep going. You have got to complete law school. You are so close to finishing. And you've got to complete law school because this is a dream that is personal to you. You will always regret dropping out. Always. And so for the sake of your dream and for the sake of your mother's memory, I want you to honor both yourself and I want you to honor her, and I want you to just keep going. Now, that said, so we've kind of, your mother and I agree on this. You're going to finish law school, okay? And you're going to be an amazing lawyer, and you've got an amazing, beautiful life ahead of you. That said, if you're so overcome because you're grieving, then you should go to the dean's office and you should explain what's going on. And if what you actually need is to pause and to just take a break from school for a little bit so you can take care of yourself in the wake of your mother's death, that's very different than quitting law school. That's giving yourself what you need while honoring your dream. Now, I can't answer that question for you. I can only implore you to figure out what you need to do right now in terms of your own grieving process while being responsible for this dream that you better not give up on, young lady, because your mother and I are watching you. So I want to know when you've completed law school, because we're going to be cheering for you. And I really appreciate you thinking of me for such an important and amazing question. All right, question number 2. This is coming in from women all over the planet. I'm sure it's something that bothers you too. Check this out.
One of the biggest challenges, which I'm hearing also from other women, other female leaders, and also across the organizations, is that our voices are not always being heard when we speak up. So I'm wondering why, and what's the tip?
I'm not able to get my perspective across as well as I would like, often within a mixed group, and it's something which bothers me.
What I think I need work on is how to hold the floor, how to help myself be heard without people interrupting me.
What do you do about getting interrupted in a meeting? Now, first of all, I want you to understand something. It's not just you. This happens to women everywhere. They have researched this extensively. Even the Supreme Court justices who are female get interrupted more than the men. And so I want you to know, don't take it personally, but you got to step up and insert some personality into this, okay? One of the things I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be like, well, why bother? You know, if I'm just going to get interrupted by all the dudes, why the hell should I even bother? I'm going to tell you why you need to bother. Number one, because your visibility at work matters, okay? Visibility is whether or not your contributions are seen, heard, and known. And one of the most visible places that you are at work is in meetings, whether they're in person or they're virtual in a video conference call. And so if you're constantly interrupted or talked over, your contributions are not being heard, seen, or appreciated. And the reason why I hammer this idea of visibility and the fact that it's your responsibility to manage your visibility is because all the research shows that your visibility has a direct connection to whether or not you're promoted or whether or not you're paid more. And visibility means, are your contributions, your opinions, are they being seen and heard, and are they known? And so that's why you've got to stop Mr. Interruptorsaurus, who is sitting in the meeting like, rah, interrupting everybody. So how do you do it? Especially if you consider yourself shy, especially if you're introverted. Here's what I want you to anchor down on. You got stuff to say. Your contribution matters. And so if you're getting interrupted, I want you to start to fight to be heard, even though you shouldn't have to. But you got to train those people around you to stop interrupting you. Do you think for one hot second I ever get interrupted in a meeting? Nope. You want to know why? Because I have trained myself to not allow it, and you can do the same thing. So tip number 1, this is critical. I want you to prepare your response in advance. Okay, this is critical because going into a meeting or a situation where you have a plan for how you're going to respond is going to make you way more successful. Because don't you hate walking out of a meeting where you've been interrupted a million times and then all of a sudden after the fact you have the, I wish I would have said this. Oh, this would have been a good comeback. I don't want you to have that kind of after the game effect. I want you in the game with a strategy, with a plan. So here's a couple ideas. So this is what I do. You ready? This works all the time. When they interrupt you, keep talking. Seriously, keep talking. And you want to know what else works? Start talking louder and lean forward, because that'll make it very clear that you are still talking. And look, if you're in a virtual environment, it's kind of weird because some of the video conference platforms, they pick up the window that's just start talking and lean in, okay? And if you're scared to do this at work, practice with your family, because I guarantee you, your kids, your spouse, your roommates, whomever interrupt you all the time. Practice keeping talking when it happens at home, and then be ready for it when it happens in a meeting. You can also have a couple phrases, because what ends up happening for women is that a lot of us, as we talk, we take a pause, and that's when Mr. Interruptosaurus jumps right in. So you want to have a couple lines ready, because I don't want you to be like, excuse me, or could I please keep talking? Like, you don't want to do something like that. No, you've got something to say. So you're ready? You're like, hold on. I'm not done yet. So hold on is a really good thing to say. You want to know another thing to say? Let me finish. I'm not done talking. And here's the final one. Just be like, I wasn't done talking, Mike. I wasn't done talking, Joe. Or if it's a woman, Sarah, I wasn't done talking. And then keep talking. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important that you keep talking, or you have one of these like lines to take the mic back. When they've studied this and they videotape meetings where they've got a Mr. Interruptosaurus at the table, Mr. Interruptosaurus doesn't know that he's interrupting because he's always talked like this and nobody's ever stopped him. So he doesn't know what's happening. And most people are sort of embarrassed when they see it. And so I'm telling you that because it's not going to stop on its own. A lot of times it's not really a sign of disrespect because people are doing it subconsciously and they don't even know that they're doing it. And it happens to women more often than men because of all the gender roles that are socialized, because dudes grow up in households where they see it happens to their mothers, because it's what's always been done. It also has to do with our tone and our tendency to pause and reflect as we're talking. So it creates more moments for somebody to jump in. It's a bazillion reasons. Stop making it personal and start inserting your personality. Keep on talking because you got something to say. And one final word, okay? Can we all agree? This is a community sourcing issue. And so if it's happening to you, it's happening to other people. And so another thing that you can do that makes a huge difference and also build up your confidence is when you see it happen to a colleague, interrupt on their behalf. Remember that saying, if you see something, say something? Well, if you see Mr. Interruptosaurus interrupting anybody else, freaking say something. Hey, hold on, Joseph. He wasn't done talking. Hey, let Gloria finish. Interrupt on somebody else's behalf, because that'll make it easier to interrupt on your own the next time it happens to you. Excellent question. I love this question because it's about one of my least favorite topics, exercise.
I would say my biggest challenge right now is staying motivated to exercise regularly after I'm just mentally exhausted after every day.
Okay, I get it. You know, here's the simple truth. If you're exhausted at the end of the day, stop trying to exercise at the end of the day. It's really that simple. So I like this theory of personal development, of making things easier for yourself. And so here's the deal. If you're so exhausted after work, particularly if you're working from home, that you don't have the energy to exercise, you got two choices, people. Either you use the 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you push yourself up and you get up going and you go do it anyway, even though you don't feel like it. Or you change the time of day that you exercise. That's it. That's it. Well, you can always blow it off too, but obviously you don't want to do that. So either you're going to force yourself to do it anyway, or make it easier on yourself. Do it in the morning. Do it in the morning. If you're not a morning person and you never get it done in the morning, you got two choices. Either 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself to do it, or change the time that you do it. You know, one of the things that's interesting about having lived through the pandemic and how it turned everybody's lives upside down is that so many people never changed their routines. When your life changes, you've got to re-examine your routines and always look at it through the lens of, what could I do that would actually make this easier for me? Me personally, I freaking hate exercise. Hate it. I do it because I have a commitment to be active and vibrant for my entire life. I do it because my body deserves to feel good. I do it because it helps with focus. I don't like it. But, you know, anything that is worth doing also is going to require some discipline. And so you got to be able to push yourself to do the things when you're tired. You got to figure out how to make things a little bit easier. So a couple hacks for me. I exercise in the morning, period. Because I know the longer the day goes on, the more excuses are going to stack up. So I do it in the morning because it's more likely I'm going to succeed and I have less excuses in the morning. The second thing is I always try to exercise with someone else. So even during lockdown, I would pick an online yoga class and I would have a buddy meet me in it. Another thing I do, I schedule my exercise out for the whole week. So on Sunday nights, I go through all the online classes I'm going to take. I put them in my calendar. That way I'm not making a game day decision. Another thing that I do, I have a little reward afterwards. Another thing that I do, I lay out my clothes the night before. All of these are little steps that make it easier for me to fulfill on something that I don't want to do. So, Abby, you hate exercising at night because you're too tired and you're not doing it. Stop beating yourself up and either frickin' push yourself to do it or change the time that you do it so that you can be successful. It's really that simple. All right. If you've got any questions that you want help with, send your emails to whatthemel@melrobbins.com. If you want to submit a video, we would love that. Keep it less than a minute. Tell me your name. Where are you in the world? And what's your quick question that you want help with? All righty. That's it. In case nobody else tells you today, I love you. I believe in you. High five, baby. I'll see you later. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed that video, by God, please subscribe because I don't want you to miss a thing. Thank you so much for being here. We've got so much amazing stuff coming. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to your friends and your family. I love you. We create these videos for you. So make sure you subscribe. Mwah.